how to write winning scholarship essays, plus hear me read my Chevening essays aloud, then stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. It's not a tutorial again. I'm talking about my experience with the Chevening Awards. I am a 2020 scholar for the Chevening Scholarship in Jamaica. So in my last video, I gave a few tips about writing your essays overall, and I read my leadership and my networking essays. So you can go check that out. I'll put the link somewhere. So in this video, I'm actually going to talk about the studying in the UK as well as the career. It's getting dark now, so I'm going to try and make this video as quick as possible. So we're going to talk about the studying in the UK. So I'm just going to get right into it. All right, so when talking about studying in the UK or wherever it is, as well as whatever scholarship it is that you're applying for, I mentioned that I applied for 3 scholarships and I was shortlisted for all 3 and I got 2. That's the Chevening, Commonwealth, and an Irish scholarship. Those are all full scholarships. So in all 3, I talked about studying in the UK or Ireland, wherever it was, and I talked about it in the same manner. And it's the same for the career as well. All right. So when talking about your reasons why you want to study in the UK or wherever it is that you want to study, it's a great idea to talk about the problem that you're trying to address in your own country and how having a master's degree, particularly from the UK or wherever, would benefit that. Talk about what stands out about each program and university. So don't just Google the program offerings and talk about that. Actually find something that is unique about the program, whether it is a particular course that's going to help in achieving an objective, a short-term, medium, long-term objective, or it could be a particular lecturer that you've admired, or it could be something about the facility, or even a particular project that the university is doing. All right, so I'm going to read my essay and then I kind of talk about why I did some stuff. So the question is asking, outline why you've selected your chosen 3 universities and explain how it relates to your problem, or how it relates to your academic or professional experience. All right, so I started talking about having seen the impacts of climate change, because that's where my area is. It's in climate change and environmental sustainability. I must utilize my experience in geospatial technologies to address Jamaica's environmental challenges. Our rivers are receding, sea levels rising, and beaches disappearing. And then I talked about, as a child, I recall journeying to somewhere that's called Helsha Beach to play by the shore. Because I want to sound a little human. So it's not just, this is the problem, this is what I want to do. I want to bring in the human element. So I went further on to say that unfortunately, this shoreline is disappearing. Climate changes have led to effects on Jamaica's marine life, local flora. I talk about also how it has impacted certain industries within Jamaica and how it has affected jobs pretty much. All right, so I talked about that problem about climate change. And then I said, additionally, in building coastline resilience, having a solid plan for managing some forests is essential, as these are cost-effective natural solutions for coastline defense during extreme weather events, that's mangrove forest. Suitably, my chosen path relates to environmental sustainability with GIS, as this approach can be utilized in managing the aforementioned challenges. And in the last video, I talked about how it's a good idea to have one theme that's throughout all 4 essays, and my theme was the fact that I am passionate about utilizing my own experience in GIS along with environmental management to find sustainable solutions for Jamaica. So I did also use that. I believe I also touched on that in my networking essay, and I also meant that was the first thing that I mentioned in this particular essay as well. All right, so I talked about what I've done so far in my workplace. I did mention that being a part of that organization, my vision is also particularly driven by my involvement in my company's sustainability efforts. I said I understood the effectiveness of utilizing GIS to impact sustainability. Having mastered GIS, I must pursue specific initiatives to equip me with advanced capabilities in sustainability to fulfill policy objectives to achieve sustainability while expanding Jamaica's climate resilience under a particular plan. So you can also do that. You could also talk about any plans that your country has that's related to your field and how you plan to contribute to those plans or to that act. So for Jamaica, one of those plans is, for instance, our Vision 2010. So as much as I could, I talked about how studying how expanding my capacity would allow me to give back to those programs or to that plan, as well as our overall SDG goals, our sustainable development goals. So if you can even talk about international initiatives, you can say how your contribution could help to impact that. So after the plan, I went on to say, with this, I found it imperative to look at UK as a key driver in environmental sustainability. Therefore, I've sought after institutions instrumental in UK's sustainability efforts through research, particularly in safeguarding coastlines against risk and hazards. Because remember, I talked about coastlines in my first paragraph, that having particular plans for our coastlines, it's important. So that was one of the reasons why I would be looking for universities who specialize in those areas. Against this background, I've identified 3 programs offering environmental sustainability with GIS. Firstly, sustainability, offered by University of Southampton, which is where I'm going, provides an opportunity of learning from leading sustainable institutes experienced in tackling environmental issues. Possessing the only DNA lab in any UK university geography department, this is something that I did not find on the program offerings. I had to do my research on the university. So that's why I say it's important that you do that. I talked about how they've utilized this facility to conduct research, particularly in protecting coastlines against risk and hazards in the UK under a particular project. So again, that project is not something that is found in the program offerings. You have to find something that's specific or something that's unique. So I talked about how they're using technology to create models and help government and policymakers choose effective ways of managing coastal risk and hazards. So I talked about how I want to utilize these elements to model my own coastlines to determine sustainable solutions. And then I talked about how I'll study environmental law, which will give me an introduction to policy fundamentals and how it is critical to the management plan that we have on Jamaica's development. So I talked about a particular course that's very important to my objectives, right? Secondly, environmental systems engineering is offered by UCL, and Okay, honestly, guys, in my second and third one, I didn't really do a lot of research because they are interesting, but those are not courses that I actually wanted to do. I picked the last two because I had to pick the last two. I actually didn't even apply, but that's for another video. Yeah, so I applied for one university. Not recommended, guys, but that's for another video. Right, so secondly, environmental systems engineering is offered by UCL, and this is what it does. I spent 3 lines on that. And thirdly, environmental sustainable development is also offered by UCL, and it explores this. So on my second and my third options, I really did not spend a lot of time talking about those because my first option was the one that's most important to me. And then my last paragraph now was having advanced knowledge in sustainability will allow me to execute my vision in Jamaica's geospatial development, as well as environmental and climate change adaptation policies in Jamaica, while providing valuable input into my country's initiatives in coastal defense. Pursuing my master's at either universities allows me to take advantage of resources available at a world-class institution while expanding my knowledge in sustainability. With my background, I'm confident I'll excel in my chosen program. All right, so I have to hurry up. It's getting dark outside, and yeah. All right, so in terms of your career, it's important that you are, I gotta get this back actually. It's important that you are clear on what you want to do. Don't just put that you want to make your country better. Actually talk about how you're going to try and make your country better by talking about the goals you have and how you plan to get there. Please, guys, have measurable goals. All right, so don't just say that you want to do the impossible, because the impossible might not be possible. That's why it's important that you have clear and measurable goals, as well as it's important to break them into short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. And talk about also, a lot of people don't actually do this, talk about how you plan to tap into your network to help to achieve these goals. And also there's a question that there's a part that asks you to talk about what the UK is doing in your country. So yeah, talk about that and how you plan to help them to further their initiative. All right, so Chevening is looking for individuals with a clear post-study career program. Discuss. All right, so my vision of marrying sustainability with geospatial solutions will help to create a more environmentally resilient Jamaica, while also aligning with my company's my Starbucks. While also aligning with my company's vision of establishing a society where natural resources are valued sustainably. So remember, I talked about having a theme across all 4 essays. That would be a nice idea. So again, I started out with my theme. It doesn't sound the same as it did in the last essay, but it's the same idea. All right. So I went on to say my company revised some plans and policies providing objective and activities to sustainably manage our resources. I have my paper with my essay, so I have to get the next page. And this supports climate resilience and contributing to a healthy natural environment, a Vision 2030 goal. So remember, I talked about it's important to talk about how you're going to give back to the country by talking about different policies that they have in place or plans that they have in place. All right. So I went on to say, therefore, upon returning home, I'll support my agency's creation of better policies and create spatial models to effectively manage resources through critical geospatial analysis and contribute the required results to complete one of our plans. And then I talked about how this will help to establish the agency's position in making Jamaica more climate resilient and prepared for international policies requiring our technical input and supporting national initiatives. Equally, there's a need to improve upon our climate change framework and land information policy. So this is not related to my own company, but it's related to just something for Jamaica overall. Integral in coupling sustainability with GIS to build resilience. This provides an excellent foundation for testing and implementing knowledge I'll acquire, allowing me to gain traction in my medium-term goal of working with policy mapping for Jamaica. And then I talked about what policy maps are and how it will be integral in data usage. Then I said, having already established myself within a particular organization, this space would provide me the perfect opportunity to move forward in the policy arena by improving our land information policy. Through my connections in the public sector, I'll be able to utilize my network to better streamline policy strategies. Ooh, this is getting real dark. Sorry, guys. Like the government of Jamaica, the DFID, that's the Department for International Development, has noted urgency in building our resilience and has assisted Jamaica by preparing residents to withstand threats from disasters through awareness training and small business and insurance, farmers insurance, while integrating risk reduction into policy and investment decisions. So you can find this information on the DFID website, so you can look to see what the DFID is doing within your own country and talk about that, especially from your own area. I went on to say more hands-on support is necessary to further these initiatives. Therefore, I want to integrate myself into these initiatives to help DFID address urgent deficiencies in my country's perspective of sustainability. Okay, this is getting too dark. Alright guys, let me finish quickly. I went on. So now I'm at long term, it's my goal to remain in the forefront of addressing critical needs in my country's response to climate change and impacts on economic development. I'll stick up in. It's my long-term plan to get into environmental consultancy. So I talked about starting my own consultancy organization. And then I also went on to say, having also noted the unavailability of professionals and resources, I'll work to complement the government's efforts in increasing Jamaica's resilience by providing my own expertise in sustainable responses, by creating this to identify areas that are under threat, allowing us to build resilience and integrate risk reduction. My career path also aligns with Vision 2030 and SDG goals 13, 14, and 15. I didn't write them out. But yeah, if your goals aligns with a particular sustainable development goals, it's also good to mention that. This ensures my contribution to national policies relating to sustainable development and climate change objectives. The foundation for geospatial advancement in Jamaica exists through initiatives such as 2 projects that I worked on. However, there's inadequate data and challenges with proper assessment, hindering decision making in response to environmental challenges. This is what I'm aiming to address by creating an understanding that it's important to integrate GIS with sustainability to address problems. I believe that my ultimate contribution to Jamaica can be nurtured through the environment, through the mentioned initiatives, and with the help of Chevening, I'll foster these plans into actions. And that's pretty much it, guys. So all the best in your application, and yeah, what I want to do is to document my own journey and possibly share it with you guys. I recently attended my send-off event where I actually received my Chevening certificate, right from the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. So yeah, my next video will talk about the universities and the fact that I only applied for one university, which they say is not recommended, but I'm going to talk about that. All right. So thank you guys for watching and see you guys next time. Bye.